We live in such an interesting time where a person, a consumer, can see a product that they really like. They can see a problem. Maybe there's a hole somewhere with that product, a niche that needs to be further filled. And they can just print something. In my day, when I was a kid growing up, you printed words on paper. Now you can print physical three-dimensional objects. And by virtue of this, regular everyday people can just mass produce to some degree. Maybe not mass produce, but they can produce a product, buy enough printers, and maybe then you can mass produce it and sell that product to fill that niche. If you've been following my channel for a while, you know that I really like this kind of thing. This is really cool to me. I love supporting a smaller creator of physical things fixing these sorts of problems. A couple of days ago, somebody reached out to me and asked me if I wanted to check out something called a Deckmate. And I'm going to be honest, I don't know much about this thing, but I presume it is something that is supposed to attach to the back of my Steam Deck and add some sort of functionality. It was delivered to me earlier today, so let's unbox this thing and see what I think about it. Going to the wonderful power of the overhead camera. What do we have here in this lovely box? A Ziploc bag. Let's move this box out of the way and we'll open up the Ziploc bag. There's a lot of stuff in here. There's like a lot of stuff in here. Okay, I reckon this is the actual Deckmate itself. So this is a plastic thing. And I actually want to step in here because in the beginning I talked about 3D printing. And after I pulled this thing out and got my hands on it, I've got some 3D printed stuff in the house. I thought to myself, this does not feel like it was 3D printed. This feels nicer than this. So I shot an email over and they very, very quickly responded and said they started off 3D printing, but now after they got the design finalized and got the design down, they are now using injection molding. So that is why this thing feels nicer, and you probably can tell by looking at it. It looks nicer than just standard 3D printing. This is actually injection molded. It looks really nice in person. That is supposed to clip. I'm looking at the website now, right? And it looks like it clips onto the back of the Steam Deck. Does it use the fan vents almost as like a guide? I believe it does. There you go. Yeah, okay, so kind of goes into these fan vents here to be a guide for. And now, okay, so our Deckmate is now attached. What else do we have? Wait, there's so many things. Okay, this is pretty interesting. So this, I know what this is. This looks like a mount for VESA. And yes, that is exactly what it is. This is a VESA mount, which is a kind of mount for a monitor. And it's spring-loaded. And that's actually, like, this is fairly well-built feeling stuff. So I guess you're meant to be able to, like, hot swap this stuff using the spring-loaded nature of it. You just kind of slide it in. Look at that. That's on there. So you could then, okay, so you could have let's say, one of those articulating monitor arms that's VESA, have this just attached to it, and you could just stick your Steam Deck on there as easy as that, and now you've got your Steam Deck on like an articulating arm. That is a super, I would have never thought to do that, but I'm sure someone will. This has a great big 3M thing on it to stick, and it looks like screw holes almost. So you could stick this thing again. Same deal. Does it matter what way it goes on? Is it one way only? It can go on like that. Is this bi-directional? Yeah. Well, it's kind of going on both ways. I'm not sure if it's meant to do that or not, but anyways. So this looks like a way to mount it as well. And yes, this is a wall mount. So presumably, okay, so you could either use the 3M, which this stuff is very strong. So I think this is actually probably pretty trustworthy. Or you could, like, I guess, drill it into your wall and just mount your Steam Deck on your wall. I'm trying to think of why you would do that. Maybe just to display it? That would be a pretty cool, like, oh, there's my Steam Deck. Where is that? It's on the wall. It's just there living on the wall. I guess you could also have it there as like a hands-free way to play with your Steam Deck. So that is also quite interesting. Okay, this one I'm a bit more puzzled with. The other ones were clearly mounts. This 3M, I don't know what this is. We're going to have to refer to the thing here. Deckmate adapter, and I don't know what that means. Oh my goodness. So this is for like if you've got a case, you put your case on and then you stick this thing on the back and you've got your Deckmate again. It's not going to be gripped onto it in the way that this one is, but you could use all of your, this just is it's a sticky only Deckmate. Clearly he's chosen someone better to make these names because sticky only Deckmate, not a very good name. Okay, what is this? This is also going to be some sort of a mount. You're sticky there again. Okay, this is quite cool. Looking at this is just a universal puck. And they're showing there, this is the one that I knew about. This is the only part of this. I knew that it was some way you could attach a power bank. And I have a giant power bank, which is probably not a good option for this because it's probably too slow. And let's be honest, it's also really, actually, you know what? It's fine. It would sit there okay. So the idea with this would be you would 3M this onto this power bank, and then you would attach it to the back of your deck and then plug it in. So this instance here, they've got a 20,000 milliamp hour battery. I mean, that's going to charge, if you get one that's, what does this thing charge, like 40 watts? So make sure you get one that's at least 40 watts or higher so we can actually like charge the thing at a full speed. And you can just keep playing forever. And they've got several options here. A battery pack, a solid state drive. Oh my goodness, you can put a hard drive back there. A cup holder? That's brilliant. So you're playing and you've got a cup. You just reach back there and just take a sip of your Mountain Dew while you're playing. A belt buckle. Okay. Attach your deck to your dog's collar. I mean, I'm not sure how good of an idea that is. Maybe you have a very small dog. Attach your dog to the back of your Steam Deck. Cut out the middleman. I think I'm going to literally like have to buy like a good battery bank that charges at a good speed just to have that, just so I can use that. And there's two. He included two of them. Got a couple more left. I don't know what this has, screws and stuff in it. What is this? Is this just like I think this is just like a pack of accessories like screws and some nuts and bolts here that would be useful like if you're mounting it to the wall and things like that. There's also an alcohol pad to clean off the surface before you apply the 3M, and there's an extra bit of 3M. So that is actually a really nice thing to have as well. This appears to be a kickstand, and I think I actually saw it on the screen a moment ago. This is really cool. I like this a lot. Let's slide this in there and it's on, and boom, there's your kickstand. How about that? That is awesome. Oh, wait a minute. Here's an idea. You could stick an external controller to the back of it with one of those things too and have a little controller, you know, and then you could use your kickstand and use your controller and off you go. You're gaming like a pro. This kickstand is actually very solid feeling. Now I do, of course, use the JSOX dock for this, and I guess I need to test and see how this is going to work. I guess you could just flip the kickstand up and you're totally fine. And it still does fit in there with the Deckmate in place, so I don't have to choose Deckmate or JSOX dock. Obviously, you have to flip the kickstand up to make it fit in, but that is just fine. So this is a case that was sent over by JSOX, and I kind of want to see how this little stick-on one, how well this works. I reckon, you know, what do you think about there? I think that would work well. Now, they sent the little alcohol pad, but that's not particularly, I know it looks kind of gross, but it's actually not. That's actually just on the inside. So we're going to try actually adhering this thing to it. And let's see how well this one works. So we're going to go, yeah, about there. Now we're going to really squeeze that thing on there. And I don't think that's going anywhere. So now let's grab my Steam Deck. And this also gives me a chance to see how difficult this is to pop off. I'm going from the bottom first. And it's kind of catching, you can see here, it's kind of catching on the lip here. Now, I don't want to break anything, but I'm assuming this has probably got enough, there we go, and it's got enough flex. That came off pretty easy. So now let's slip into our case. And now if you want to just be super redundant, right, now I've got dual kickstands, guys. Like, I mean, this thing ain't falling over for nothing. Obviously, there's more uses for it than that. Let's grab the wall mount. And that thing's not going anywhere. That totally works. Well done. I honestly love this kind of stuff. This is just so cool. This is just ingenuity. This is somebody seeing a problem and solving it. And yeah, I'm really, really pleased with this. Let's go back and look at the prices here and see what we have. So the Deckmate, oh, I forgot to mention something really important about the Deckmate itself. I just noticed it on the picture there, and I can see it here. There is a spot to put extra SD cards. Do I have an SD card nearby? I don't, but there's one in my actual deck itself. One of the cool things about the Steam Deck is that you can hot swap SD cards. So you can keep extra cards in there. Who needs a whole bunch of internal storage? You can just do that. Pull that bad boy out, stick it back in, and just hot swap your storage. You're never away from extra games right there. This is very, very cool. Let's go back to this again. So 20 bucks for the actual Deckmate itself. And you can see your prices here. The puck is $7. The kickstand is $15. And I think the kickstand is probably going to be one of the must-haves for this. It feels quite stiff. There's actually a really nice mechanism in here. You can see the springs are quite nice. It actually grips it. But there's a bit of metal actually in there as well. This doesn't feel particularly cheap. It feels pretty stiff. The adapter, which is cool, like again, I said if you want to put it on the back of a case that you prefer to use. The wall mount, I mean, I guess I'm going to mount my Steam Deck to a wall somewhere just for the heck of it. And the base amount's $12 as well. And now I believe there are bundles. Yeah, there are bundles though. So 50 bucks gets you the whole thing. That is a savings there. The Essential Pack, 40 bucks gets you the mate, the kickstand, the adapter, and the universal puck. Yeah, I think going with some of these bundles is going to be the way to go. I don't know what more to say. This is really, really cool. I really like this stuff. There's something, like I said, about the ingenuity of it, about the problem solving of it that I really like. And it's just clever. There's a lot of clever stuff to this. The mounts, the base mount thing is a good idea. The universal puck with that 3M adhesive, like I said, I'm probably going to go buy a battery bank just to do this, to have this as an option. That's just smart. I do want to say a big thanks again to Siri. I'm assuming that's how that name is pronounced, S-I-R-I. Thank you a ton for sending this thing out for me to review, for me to look at. The shipping speeds were unbelievable. I think we spoke like 3 days ago and the thing arrives. So I don't think shipping is going to be a major problem for this thing. Speaking of shipping, it looks like if you need international shipping, they are selling this on Etsy, which helps handle international logistics. So do keep that in mind. That might shift things around a little bit. If you have a Steam Deck, I would definitely recommend at least giving this a look and seeing if some of this stuff makes sense for you. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. I will see you on the next one. And until next time, stay nerdy, my friend.